And thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Nazi Javid, and tonight a major escalation in the Middle East. President Trump confirms that Iran's supreme leader was killed in the strikes that the U.S. and Israel carried out Saturday. Ali Khamenei had led the nation for over 30 years. ABC's Ashant Singh has the latest.
Tonight, President Trump announcing in a social media post that Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, is dead, calling him, quote, one of the most evil people in history.
Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people.
The president adding that just eliminating Iranian leadership will not stop the joint U.S.-Israeli attack, saying what he describes as heavy and pinpoint bombing will continue uninterrupted throughout the week or as long as necessary to achieve our objective. The White House releasing images of the president monitoring the mission from Mar-a-Lago, watching what officials are calling Operation Epic Fury unfold in real time. The daytime assault beginning at 9:45 a.m. Iranian time with a barrage of Tomahawk missiles and for the first time in U.S. combat, one-way drones striking multiple targets in Iran for hours. Buildings and cars in flames. New satellite images showing extensive damage to the supreme leader's compound. Iran responding within hours, launching retaliatory strikes across the region. A barrage of missiles launched into Israel, many intercepted, but some breaking through the air defenses. Iran also targeting at least 4 U.S. bases in the region. Dramatic videos showing strikes near a U.S. naval base in Bahrain, where some 3,200 Americans are stationed. Iranian officials say over 1,000 people were killed in this wave of attacks. So far, no U.S. casualties have been announced. In Israel, at least one person was reported killed, with more than 100 injured. Ashant Singh, ABC News, New York.
Meantime, it comes as Iranian officials say dozens of students at an all-girls elementary school were killed during the U.S. and Israeli military strikes across the country. State television and government leaders report 115 people who were at the school were killed. They say nearly 100 more were injured from that strike. Following the death of Iran's supreme leader, attention now turns to what happens next and who holds power. Inside Iran, some see a possible turning point after years of deadly crackdowns, mass arrests, and an economic crisis, while others fear instability and more violence, including strikes on civilian areas. Well, here at home, there are questions about national security and economic impact and the risk of a wider conflict. To help us make sense of it, I spoke with Sacramento State Associate Professor of Political Science and Director of the Iranian and Middle Eastern Studies Center, Dr. Sahar Razavi. Here's part of our conversation. There is a lot to unpack here. What a day.
What a day. It's been jam-packed since the moment we found out last night that the strikes had begun.
And when you look at the reaction that we're seeing online, in one scenario you see people dancing in the street and singing praise and shooting off fireworks. And on the other hand, you see people grieving and in fear and worried about more violence that could escalate in the region. So how do you make sense of all of that?
The celebrations that we have seen speak to the level of pressure and misery that people have experienced in Iran for so many years. I mean, Iranian civil society has tried through basically every avenue that has been available to them to make changes to the system, and they have been foreclosed at every turn by the repressive apparatuses of the Iranian government. So the celebrations reflect a sense of relief that the supreme leader, who has been at the helm for 37 years, is gone. But there is also very, in my opinion, reasonably trepidation for what could come next for themselves and for the region.
So we hear President Trump say this message to the Iranian people. We're doing what you've been asking. You've been protesting in the streets. You've seen thousands of your people killed. Now is your only chance to take over. How do they do that?
To be honest, it's very unclear because the Iranian military has 2 branches. They have an official military like the Navy and the Air Force, and then they have the IRGC. And combined between those 2, there are about 600,000. And when you add in the police and other security forces like the Basij, it's almost 1 million. And with Iranian citizens being unarmed I mean, asking them to go and take over their government institutions in the face of really overwhelming violence over the past 47 years, anytime they have tried to do so, is it's unclear how they are being expected to do that with kind of empty hands.
And you can watch the rest of that interview. We'll have that for you on our YouTube page as well as the ABC 10 streaming app. And back here at home, we're also hearing from local Iranian-American residents who say they're fully in support of the airstrikes that hit Iran, which killed the country's supreme leader. They explain they have had a taste of that war for many years, and for decades they have wanted the U.S. to step in and help them fight back against the Islamic regime. ABC 10's Roxanne Elias joins us live now in the studio. You spoke with them tonight. What are you hearing from the people from Iran?
Well, Nazi, according to the locals I spoke with, they say living in oppression is far worse than being dead. And if going through sacrifice right now means their freedom, then that's the price they're willing to pay.
Within minutes of hearing of airstrikes dropping in Iran Friday night, Dr. Shahab Barnianchi says the majority of Iranians began to rejoice.
This war that's happening right now, we look at it differently. We look at it, they look at it as the only solution to have a free country.
The activist says they've gotten nowhere in the last 47 years of fighting against this brutality empty-handed, and they were waiting for President Trump to do good on his promise after saying we're locked and loaded and help is on the way.
Right now, people are excited. They are very happy about the outcome so far. They've been advised to stay inside, not to go to the street for their safety until the dust settles a little bit.
Barnianchi also shared he's been personally affected by war, vividly recalling the Iranian Revolution lasting 8 years.
I was 13 when I lost my dad during the war. So he was walking on the street, going to a free market to buy fruit in Kermanshah, my hometown. Iraqis bombed our city. I was 13. He was 39. And he died.
He believes this attack means the freedom of his people. Robert David, a member of the Iranian-American Alliance of Turlock, says he also sees the attack as a win-win for his country. Both men say the truth is the regime had started killing thousands of their own people.
When they start kill those people in 2 days, people start making videos, recording and sending out on the social medias to say, somebody help us because these are not human and they are wild and killing everybody.
Many people still have their friends and entire families in Iran and are worried what could happen to them.
Very dangerous situations, they're them life, like there's no freedom. They want to go out, they want to do something, but same time they scared because these people, they are wild.
Barnianchi says he understands that people have the right to be against the war, but he also believes that there will be further repercussions if the present regime isn't stopped.
Within the past 12 hours, they started bombing the neighboring countries. So how can you trust this regime to have the sort of ammunition that reaches soon to the United States and Europe, or Israel, or our allies in the Middle East? So you see, this is bigger than just we don't want war.
People say they would like the American support right now, and for them to step in as an alliance. The Iranian-American Alliance for Turlock says they are planning a march tomorrow from 2 to 5 in the afternoon. We'll have those details on the march at abc10.com. Nazi?